My name's Lara Martini, and my son Beppi attends Sensational Fun. My son is severely autistic, so he's classified, I believe, as pre-verbal. He could say a bunch of words, but he still can't understand what a question is or answer questions and things like that. So he could say colors and numbers and ask for, name his favorite foods, but he can't, if you say, "What's my name?" he can't say mommy, but he knows that I am mommy. He tries to participate, but he's just very limited in what he can do. He needs a lot of help. It is a lot, mentally and physically. We don't have any family that live nearby, so it's just my husband and I and our son. It was the only space we had available to us when we first got kicked out of preschool, and then we had to scramble to try to find a babysitter, and this was all before we even really had a diagnosis and knew what was going on. We just knew there was something delayed. He was definitely speech delayed. Literally no place will take him. I want him to be able to play with other kids. He really doesn't have that opportunity normally. I'll communicate with pictures because I can't just say we're going to Sensational Fun. He doesn't understand, so I'll pull up a little screenshot on my phone and I'll say, "Beppi, Sensational Fun," and then he'll go, socks or shoes or whatever, because he knows he has to put his socks on and his shoes on, and he gets so excited, so he runs to get ready. That's why I can't show him until I'm dressed and ready and we're about to get out the door, because if not, he's just in a frenzy. He can't wait to come. And then he's just so excited. He's yelling and waving his arms and stuff when he's in the car. The moment we get here, he runs and starts to do his circuit, I call it. A lot of autistic kids have routines, so he also has a play routine, even if it's like a 30-second thing. So he's got to jump in the ball pit, then he's got to go on the spinning swing, then he goes on that tree house in the back, he jumps on the thing in the far corner, and repeat and repeat. And if there's another child that's sort of using one of those, you got to try to redirect him and be like, hold on, they'll take a turn. But yeah, he absolutely loves it here. There's no place I can drop him off. Literally no place will take him. This is the only place in the entire greater Buffalo area that I can bring him, leave him for an hour and a half, be confident that he's safe, he's cared for. Not only that, they love him. They greet him by name. They're excited to see him. And then I can go food shopping calmly or, run a few errands or something. And just that hour and a half breather is something that us parents of autistic children, we physically do not get. This is all he can possibly do. So just knowing that they're here, they're equipped to handle children like my son. They don't kick anybody out, they're understanding. It's really for everybody. So I don't have to ever worry that he'll get kicked out of Sensational Fun like he was kicked out of his daycare. A moment of understanding was we went to one of their fundraisers, their meat raffle, and they were explaining their whole mission and why they do what they do. And they said, "Raise your hand if your child has ever been kicked out of daycare." And there were so many hands that raised, and that was the first time I saw that other parents experienced that. I really thought that we were the only ones. So there was like this immediate sense of bonding and community, and from that moment on I understood that every single parent there, including the people that run Sensational Fun, understood on a very fundamental level what these kids need and how it feels when they're turned away and not allowed into some spaces just because of their health, medical, and developmental issues.